Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're now in nearly, what are we on, number 4? No, number 5. Number 5 of my Handmade Christmas, I can't talk today, Handmade Christmas ideas and projects for you back to back of things that you can make for the Christmas season. Today we are going to be making something using Festive Post, which is a lovely set for Christmas, and it comes with a coordinating punch, which is the rectangular postage stamp punch. So we're going to be doing something with this, and we are going to make, now I've left this side open so that we can actually have a look at it. So the little rectangular postage stamp fits perfectly on this little box. And when you open it, as I say, I haven't glued this size down on purpose. You are going to make a pile of little tags to go in for your Christmas presents. Just something to tie onto a little present. You know, when we have little gifts and things that we give and you don't want a huge tag. So we've got 3 of the deer. And I've just put a little gem in for his nose so that he's a Rudolph. We've got to you and yours. So again, a lovely one there. So I've done 3 of those. We've got this one, which has got Merry Christmas on it. And I've just done those in 2 shades of green. So I've done the Merry Christmas in on the cherry cobbler. So 3 of those, and then 3 of the little car, and I've put Merry Christmas at the bottom, but I've also put It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, which is the little stamp from it. So there's 3 of those as well. So it makes a lovely little gift to make, and they just fit in beautifully into this little box. And I've done 12, which fitted perfectly. You could make some more if you wanted to. You could make less if you make the embellishments even higher. Now, I've folded the little tag parts in over the top, and as I say, they will fit absolutely perfectly into the box. Like that. And then you can just put the sides down, and you can glue that down if you want to. So I'm leaving it open purely so you can then see when we make some of the tags inside. I'm not going to make all of them. It's more of the idea of how to do it. So let's make the box first of all. Very simple, easy little box. And it's one that you can make 4 from 1 sheet of cardstock, because the size that you need is 4 inches by 5.5 inches. So let's get the scoreboard out. Make a bit of a noise. I've got it just on the other side. So I'm going to pop the scoreboard in so you can see it. There we go. And we are going to take it on, let's take it on the 4-inch side, so the shorter side. 4-inch side, you are just going to score it at 1 inch. And 3 inches. Then rotate it round to the long side, which is the 5.5 inches. You're going to score it at 1 inch. Two and a half inches. 3.5 inches. And 5 inches. Okay, now don't worry too much about the measurements if you didn't quite catch that. You can always rewind the video and watch it again, or I will be putting the descriptions below in the description box, so you should be fine with that. Okay, so now we need our bone folder, which, let me have a quick look and see. Here it is. I've got quite a few projects on the go, so I'm trying to get everything sort of where it should be. So we're just going to burnish through on all of the sides. And when you burnish, if you always go through, so where you've scored it, so you've scored it through on this side where it dips in, that's the side that you want to fold it in on. It gives it a nicer crease on there. Okay, so we've taken all of those folds in on there. Then we just need to take our paper snips, sorry me leaning across the table, and we're going to very simply just cut inside the score mark and wedge the other side. So you wedge your squares, you leave your rectangles exactly the way they are. So just inside on the rectangle, wedge in on the square. So just inside, wedge in on the square. Take these ones out, and then on this little end one we need to take this one out completely, so we don't need this, so we'll take this inside and then we can just wedge in on this bit here. Okay, so again, turn it round, we're going to do the same thing. So this little tiny narrow strip we don't need, so cut inside and then wedge it on that side, cut in on the rectangle, wedge the square, cut in on the rectangle. So they're really quite simple little boxes to make. In on the square, cut in on, that's a really nice one that I've got completely askew, but I don't think it'll matter that much, it'll just tuck in quite nicely, so tuck that in. Okay, so that's how it then looks, like that. So that's the little template for it. Let me just get rid of these little pieces because we don't need these in on here. So I'm just going to put them out of the way. Okay, so very simply for putting it together, where this little tab is on here, that's the piece that we need to glue. So if we take, let me take my wet glue because it is my favourite. You can use Seal Plus, you can use tear and tape, anything you really want. I like the wet glue because, as I say, you can take it right up to the edges, and then we can just fold this piece in because we know that it's going to fit properly where we've measured it. And then I just, with my bone folder on both sides, just give it a burnish, and it just helps the glue to stick. So we then have our seam is at the back, so we want to make sure, is that the seam? Once it's glued in, it's difficult to see where the seam is. Yes, that's the seam at the back. So we'll tuck these two pieces in, and then we will glue this piece in just a little bit this way and pop that down. Just make sure that you've got it square as you do that. So again, the wet glue does help with that, helps you being able to square things up. And then we'll take the other one, just put some glue down in on here, making sure you've got it round the edges, and then we can take this piece and that can go up on that piece like that. So as I say, you've got a nice square box from that side. Now, I did this box last year just with a little bit of a different variation on it to fit the mini Smarties if you're here in the UK, and did an advent calendar with it. So we can now put our tags inside, and as I say, I'm not going to glue this part yet because it's the sort of thing that I need to make sure that I've got all my bits and pieces in there. So let's have a go with the tags. I've just literally punched out 2 pieces of Whisper White, and we're going to do the one for the top and the one for the inside. So I have used on this one, you can use any different shades of green you want. I've got, what have I got out? I've got garden green for this one. So we need to take the stamp set, and we're going to use this lovely floral piece on here. Now, you can do it while it is already on the cardstock and punch it out afterwards, but it's a lovely shape and you don't necessarily have to do that. So let me just put this down. You take my block and put that in. Oops, that was a bit of a slidey one, wasn't it? Get that in on the center like that. Okay, so we're going to take the garden green and the easiest way to do it is if you line up the bottom piece on here and then rock it down, you know that the rest is going to fit. So that's the one that we're going to do on the top like that. And let me get my stamp, my Simply Chamois out, so I can just clean up my stamp as I go. And then we're going to take the little To You and Yours, because it's a nice little straight stamp. Some of these other ones don't fit in on this, on the area that you want. So if you see these ones, the Merry Christmas, Enjoy This and Yours, doesn't quite fit as well as this one. I think this one fits perfectly. So let me a smaller block out, have I? Yes, I have. Bear with me a second, let me reach across and grab my block. So I'm just going to put this in just on a slight angle, and again we're going to ink that up, make sure we've got it the right way up, To You and Yours, and then we're going to put it in the center. Now I'm putting it sideways only because it's easier for me to see, and then we've got To You and Yours in the center there, which makes it rather pretty. And then that's going to literally be glued straight onto the top of the box. Okay, so we can take our little box, and as you can see, it fits absolutely perfectly, just with a tiny little border across. So it's the perfect little box to fit the little tags in. So To You and Yours, so that's the top of the box done. You can embellish it a bit more if you want to, but as I say, if you're making a whole pile of them, then you probably don't want to do that. So let's have a look and see. We're going to let's do the deer on this one. So we've got lovely Rudolph, and again they will all fit beautifully because they're made to go on there. So let's take Rudolph in on here, and I need to get some crumb cake. Bear with me a second. There we go. Right, just getting my ink out. I'm actually going to use soft suede for this one, I think, because I think soft suede will work quite nicely. So let's ink this up. And again, I'm just going to line him up in on the center like this. Give him a press. And then you've got your little deer on there. And then all we need to do is to just get a little gem for his nose. And the ones that I've used are the new Wonderful Gems. And they are, just get them out of my box. There we go. So these are the Wonderful Gems, and you've got glitter that's actually inside. Now, the very smallest one of these works perfectly. So you can take them off with scissors or a pokey tool, whatever you want to. And we're just going to put that just on the end of his nose like that. Because you want him to have a good, bright, shiny nose. Okay, then all you need to do is, on the top left-hand corner of this one, is to take a hole punch, whichever is your preferred. I use the crocodile, which I've had for quite a long time now, because it goes through virtually everything. You can have it through quite sort of large areas. There we go. And then all we need to do is to put a little bit of twine on. Now, whatever twine you've got, I've got quite a lot from quite a few years ago, and we sell quite a lot of different types of twine. So whichever ones you want. This is one that had a little bit of silver thread in. I think it was from last year. So if you fold it in half, now the length of the twine is, you just measure it out, about 6 inches. Doesn't need to be too long. You could take it to 7 if you wanted to. So we're just going to fold this in half, and we'll pop this through from the back. Give it a little bit of a twist to get it through, and then pull it through, and then just take both the ends. Whoops, fingers aren't working. Take both the ends and just tuck them through. So just make sure I've got this at the right, my ends in like that. Pop it through and then just pull it, and you've got your little tag. Now, the nice thing on this as well is that you've got a to and a from. So if you wanted to put that on the back, you could put it on the back. It's quite a small little space, but it does allow you to just, if you want to and from. I tend to write different things on mine, so I'm not going to do that on there. But you can then, as I say, pop that into your box. And I'm going to make another 12 to go in this little box like that. But as you can see, it fits absolutely perfectly. You can then tuck your little ends in, fold it up, take it the right way, and you've got your little box. You can then put some twine round there and wrap it, and have your bow sort of coming at the bottom. But a very sweet little box, and as I say, it's great to have so many. As you can see, there's 12 in there, so you've got a real selection of little tags that you can give as a present. So this was the reindeer that we did, and I've done 3 of each one, and they are all from the one stamp set. So I haven't used any other stamp set at all. I've just used this stamp set here. So you've got the reindeer that we did in the soft suede. This one I've done in the cherry cobbler. So I've got the different colour inside with to you and yours. The car I did in cherry cobbler, and then used the tree, which is a double stamp, so you can stamp the inside in the green. And then this was the little circle I was talking about that we just put up in the corner there, and I've cut out the sentiments, so you've got Merry Christmas, enjoy this season, and to you and yours, which fit perfectly. So a lovely little project for you. Do join me for the next in the series. As I say, I'm doing them all back to back. There's going to be at least 12. I don't know whether I'll get to as many as 24 or 25, but we'll see how we go. And all the details will be below for your measurements and things, so don't worry about that. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, stay safe and stay well and be kind. Bye-bye.